Hello, everybody. Today, I have the honor, the privilege of having my beautiful wife as a model today for your workout. Today's workout is called Full Body Core. You do not need anything unless you have problems with the next two things we're going to do, in which case I will tell you what you need. So first thing we're going to do is going to be a toe touch. So you can start with your feet close together like Jamie. You can start with your feet a little bit wider like me. Doesn't really matter. You're going to push your hips back. You're going to exhale as you reach down to the ground. You're going to take about 3 to 5 breaths. If you can't touch your toes without bending your, turn to the side a little bit, please. So this is good. So she can touch her toes. Your legs don't have to be locked, but we don't want you to be like that. Okay? So just kind of take stock of that. The next one's going to be a deep squat. So you're going to go feet about shoulder width, hip width apart. Toes are going to point out a little tiny bit. You're going to drop down into your squat. Your elbows are going to go inside your knees. You're going to try and keep your chest up. You're going to try and keep your weight in your heels. If you have to, if you have to do this where your heels come off the ground a little bit, that's okay. The big thing is that we want your chest up. Okay, so we don't want this. We want this. Again, take stock. How you feeling? All right, come back up. And then we'll do those two exercises again at the end of the ramp, because if you have a hard time touching your hands to the ground, and if you have a hard time getting into your deep squat, then some of these exercises we're going to do today are going to be a little bit challenging, and we're going to give you a little bit of a modification to do when we do those exercises. First thing we're going to do, rolling hip ups. We're going to go 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. You guys will be able to see the timer. Ready?
Ready.
All right, rolling hip ups. You're in a hip up position. These are different than regular hip ups in the sense that you're going to think about tucking your pelvis, so rolling your pelvis, right? So if you guys watch when Jamie does it, there's a just focus on the pelvis, there's a very, very distinct movement of her pelvis. I always think about it like, imagine you have two handles, and those handles are right on top of your hip bones. So when you're in that hip up position, you're going to grab onto those handles, and you're going to pull those handles towards your rib cage, right? And so then when you go up into your hip up, you're thinking about pulling those handles so that the top of the position, your belly's tight and your butt is tight. That's a rolling hip up. What you're going to do next is a passive leg lower. Jamie has a band. You don't need a band for this. You could use a towel. You could use a rope. You could just put your hand behind your leg, so it would look like this. Okay? And then you would do the exact same thing that Jamie's doing. She's going to switch about the halfway mark. So about 15 seconds she'll switch. So she's keeping her leg locked. It's okay if you have to bend your knee a little tiny bit. That's fine. Go ahead, switch sides. And when she gets close to the ground, she's going to think about pushing her heel into the ground using her butt. Leg lower. After this, we're going to come up to a standing position. So we're going to come up to our standing position. We're going to do a lateral lunge with an opposite side reach. Hopefully I did this timing right. And you're going to go all one side first and then the other side. So lateral lunge, she's going to step out all one side, so she's going to do the right side first. So there's essentially two movements. The first movement is a lunge. And notice how when we hit our lunge, we drop our hips back. So not this, back. So that's the first movement. Second movement is a reach. And you can separate them where you do your lunge and then your reach, or you can do them like what Jamie's doing them, which is how we'd like to see them done, where she just steps out and she drops right into that reach. Make sure that you are sticking your butt back. Should feel this, rest. We're going to switch sides. So when I go to the left, I should feel this stretch, kind of my groin, back of the hamstring area. But on my left leg, I'm feeling it butt, hamstrings, okay? And then when I reach across, I might even get a little more stretch down the calf, back of the leg. But it's very important that you're sitting back into the movement. Okay, remember, any pain during any of these movements or exercises, please make sure you send us a message and let us know, hey, I had some pain doing the lateral lunge with opposite side reach. We'll probably ask you to shoot a video of you doing it just to make sure that the technique is correct. If you are doing it with good technique and still having pain, then we'll probably give you modification. This is not Rocky IV. No pain is not a good mantra, unless you truly don't feel any pain. Side lying diagonal reach is next. We're gonna go each side for this one, so we'll switch at the halfway point. So Jamie's gonna lay on her side. Her knees are in line with her pelvis. You can see she's holding on with her opposite hand, which I like. And then she's gonna make a straight line that's angled from her knee, through her shoulder, through her hand. She's looking at her hand as it drives across, and she's exhaling as she rotates. Go ahead, switch sides. So when that when the hand stabs, let's do this side. When the hand stabs the knee, and as it rotates up, you're thinking about taking your thumb and it goes down to the ground. So thumb stabs the knee, thumb stabs the ground. We're gonna do banded pull aparts next. Gonna bend, not a big deal. So banded pull aparts, Jamie grabs a hold of a band. She's gonna go palms up. And then she's going to squeeze her shoulder blades back together. If you guys want to go palms down, that's fine. If you don't have a band, it's not a big deal because the motion is the same. And however you put your hands, whether the palms up or palms down, you're using your shoulder blades to bring your hands away from each other. So it's not arms. So you guys can hopefully see the difference. It's shoulder blades. We want to see, if you were in-house in front of us, we'd want to see the back of your sweatshirt or shirt get a bunch of folds in it. I call it back cleavage. And if we can see a bunch of back cleavage, then we know that your shoulder blades are moving. So make sure you're moving your shoulder blades, that one. Last one we're going to do is we're going to do some locomotion. So Jamie's just going to move around, anything she wants to do. And this might actually, if I set this timer up right, which the staff knows not to trust me with, actually probably all the members know not to trust me setting up the timer. If I set this timer up right, then we should have a 2-minute break after this. If we don't have a 2-minute break, then what we're going to do is we're going to do one more 45-second round of moving around. So Jamie's essentially jogging in place, but she's moving forward and backward. When we talk about locomotion, we define locomotion as moving from point A to point B and back to point A. This is incredibly important to help prevent falls. Okay, so we got one more round of 45 seconds. So that's the same thing, let's just go to the side. Yeah, last round of 45 seconds, then we got 2 minutes rest. So this locomotion that we do at the end of the workout, end of the ramp, is incredibly important. A bunch of different reasons. 2 main reasons is A, it really kind of warms you up. So if you're not warmed up from the other stuff, this is really going to help finish that. The other thing is that it helps you understand what you have to do as far as controlling your center of mass and your center of gravity for fall prevention, right? So as we're moving around, we're moving. So we have to be able to adjust ourselves. 8 seconds. 5. Got to be able to control our body as it's moving through space. We got 2 minutes rest. This is the last thing I want you guys to do. You're going to touch your toes again. Can you go down farther? Does it feel easier? Get you to go to the side quick. That's what we want to see. Okay? And then do her squat. Go ahead, do your squat again. Your squat looked great. So if you can do those two things, squat, feet flat on the floor with your chest up and your butt below your hips below your knees, and you can touch your toes without having to really bend your knees, then you don't need anything from a modification standpoint for this exercise or for this workout. However, if you have problems doing either one of those, then what you want to do is you can grab a chair or a bench. You probably don't have a weightlifting bench at home, but you can grab a chair, or you can grab some yoga blocks, which we used to have someplace. $30, or you can grab some yoga blocks. What we're going to do, full body core. We're basically alternating a core movement with a full body exercise. You're going to go 30 seconds of work, right? I'm going to let you know when 30 seconds is up. A little sketchy, I understand. We're going to do that for 2.5 minutes. We're going to rest for 90 seconds. So it's a 2.5 minute circuit that you're going to switch every 30 seconds. You're going to go right into the next exercise. First round is going to be easy because we need you guys to be able to watch what Jamie's doing and be able to replicate that. So first round is going to kind of just be, hey, do it along with us. And by us, I mean Jamie in the plural. Do it along with Jamie for the first round, see what she's doing. The second round, we're going to repeat what we did on the first round. So they'll be identical, so that way you guys can actually do the round the way that she did the first round. Third round will be a little bit harder. Fourth round is going to be a little bit harder. And then fifth round, as always, the last round should be your hardest round. Okay, Rife, are you ready?
I think so.
All right. So first exercise, it's going to be plank rotations. You're going to start in a side plank, any side plank you want to do, and you just go from one side plank to the other side plank. We're going to go 30 seconds. I'll let you guys know when 30 seconds is up.
I'm going to start with a short one.
That's fine. Yeah. So you're just going from one side to the other side. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Jamie's doing a modified short lever. You could also do a modified short lever. She's going to, in 10 seconds, she's going to stand up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So she's going to stand up. She's going to squat down. She's going to try and get her hands as close to the ground as possible. Yep, just like that. Modification, if you need your yoga blocks, you would put your yoga blocks down like this. And you only want to squat down as low as you feel comfortable and as long as your chest is up. So in about 10 seconds, Jamie's going to go to a Superman. All right, she's going to lay down on her belly. She's going to go right into a Superman. Yep. You can do whatever you want. She asked me if she should hold it or if she should pulse, meaning just go up and down. Do whatever you want. In this Superman, I want you to focus on squeezing your butt. You should feel this mostly in your butt, like 70 to 80% butt, and then like 20 to 30% lower back. 8 seconds. After this, she's going to go to a beast hold, which is basically on all fours. Okay, go ahead, go to your beast hold. So she's going to go on all fours, and then all she needs to do is pick her knees up off the ground so that it's enough to slide a piece of paper between her knees and the ground. The higher her knees are off the ground, the easier it is. The closer her knees are to the ground, the harder it is. So that's why I want your knees close to the ground. In 6 seconds, she's going to stand up. Go ahead, stand up. And she's going to go into her hand walkouts. Now for your first round of these, I want you to bend your knees. So I want you to soften those knees, get your hands down to the ground, and you're going to nice and easy walk your hands away from your legs and then back up into a standing position. When you come back up into a standing position, I want you to think about using your glutes to get you to stand back up. Squeeze your butt at the top of the motion, and you should be straight up and down, just like you're standing nice and tall. Rest. 90 seconds rest. Nice, easy first round. This is what I love to see. You know, gradual. Hey, you know what? It's a little warmer, so I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. It's a little cool in the gym. So that tells me that it was a good first round. She's not breathing too hard, but she is getting warmed up. So we're going to do this again in about a minute. So we're going to do all this, the exact same stuff that we did in the first round. Now she might make some of these exercises. You make your side plank harder. So for the side plank, she's going to go to a long lever. Just so you guys understand, we got 50 seconds left, so we'll do a little bit of extra coaching. This is a long lever. Okay, it's long lever, right? Short lever, leave both knees bent. Modified short lever, top leg straight. Those are going to be your basic 3 plank variations. She's going to go to a long lever. We're going to go in about 25 seconds. If some of you super freaks at home, you're like, oh my gosh, this is not moving fast enough for me. Run in place. Mountain climbers. Do something to keep your heart rate up. We're going to go in 13 seconds. 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, second round, 2, 1, side plank rotations. Either do the same thing that you did the first round, or you can do your regular side plank rotations, long lever side plank rotations like Jamie's doing. After these plank rotations, we're going to come back up to a standing position to do our squat thrust. Some of these exercises, each round is going to get a little bit harder. Squat thrust is going to be one of those. Rest. So Jamie's going to come back up. We're going to do a step back. Step back. So basically, hands go down the ground, and then step back, and then step up, and then stand back up. Whole time she's keeping her core tight, not like she's going to take a punch, but tight enough that she can feel it working. In about 5 seconds, she's going to lay down on her belly. Rest, go ahead, lay down on your belly, and she's going to go into her Supermans. As far as how far should you lift your feet up off the ground, how far should you try and get your chest up off the ground, it's really up to you, okay? A modification of this would be to keep your feet on the ground and lift your upper body up, or keep your upper body on the ground, lift your feet up. Either one of those are fine. This would be your base movement. You could look up if you want or straight down, doesn't really matter. Next movement she's going to do is going to go back into that beast position. Go ahead, go back into that beast position. And we're just going to hold this again. She's thinking about breathing when she's doing this. She's not thinking about holding her breath. She's got her knees about a paper distance off the ground. 5 seconds, and then she's going to go into her hand walkout. All right, right into her hand walkout. Do that same thing she did. She's going to soften her knees a little tiny bit. But now I want her to think about trying to walk her hands a little bit further away from her feet so that her thumbs roughly are in line with her ears, temple, hairline, that kind of area. That's why I like to see her hands there. If she wants to go a little bit wider, that's fine, or a little bit further away, that's fine. If she wants to get them in line with, top of her head, cool. Rest. Minute and a half, grab some juice if you need it. Super freaks, if you're still like, it's just, I need to get a little more workout, run around. If you remember the exercises, you can actually just keep doing them too. Every 30 seconds, just keep doing them, 20 minutes. We're going to go in a minute. Third round, a little bit harder. Not really a lot of different ways that we can make the plank rotations harder. So the way that you would make those harder is try and stay in a straighter line. Okay, so as you're moving from elbow to elbow, think about staying in a straighter line. You can try moving faster. A lot of times what happens when people move faster doing the plank rotations, they just kind of fall apart. Yeah, you could do a reach. Jamie might throw some stuff in there for you guys. But I think the plank rotations are hard enough in and of themselves. The squat thrust, what we're going to do is we're going to do a hop back. So instead of a step back, where we go whatever, one leg, we're going to do a hop back. And then we're going to step up. Okay? So it's a hop back and a step up. This is the third round. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right into it. 30 seconds. Side plank rotations. Just putting the hand up to the sky. Make it a little harder. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10. Keep going. We're going to go into our squat thrust. Ramp up next. Go ahead, stand on up. So again, if you have your yoga blocks, you put your yoga blocks down, give a little hop back, and then a step up. If you have a bench or a chair, this is how you would do them. Five seconds. Then we're going to go into our Supermans. Rest. Right into our Supermans. It's our third round. Just make sure you're squeezing your butt when you do these. After our Supermans, we're going to go into our Beast hold. And this will be the last hold that we do. The next 2 rounds will actually be a Beast crawl. All right, she's going to go into her Beast hold. So to tighten this up a little tiny bit for you guys at home, a Beast hold is different than a quadruped hold. A quadruped hold looks like a table, meaning everything is balanced, right? Here's your flat table, and you have your leg, and it's at the points. A Beast hold is everything's a little more crunched together. So her knees are actually in line with her belly button. Her hands are closer to her knees, so she's more crunched together. 2, 1, come on up. She's got her hand walkouts. I want her to try and walk her hands a little bit further away. But the big thing that I want you all to be aware of is what is your lower back doing when you do this movement, right? So it should not be arched. Your abs should be tight when you're doing this exercise. If your hands walk too far away from your head, meaning hands too high above your head, then your lower back is going to arch. You put a lot more pressure in your vertebrae. We don't want that. Rest. Third round, 2 rounds to go. The next 2 rounds should be your hardest rounds. Feeling okay? Plank rotations, we're not going to do anything about. You could do the arm up if you want. You could do the modified short lever, long lever, whatever you want to do. The squat thrust, we're going to take it, the squat thrust ramp up, we're going to take it into a squat thrust. So what that means, hands are going to go down on the ground if you want to use your blocks, your bench, whatever. Hands go down, hop back, then you're going to hop back up and stand. Okay? That's your squat thrust. If you need to do a step, which would basically be like the third round that we just did, it would look like this. So you'd hop back, and then you'd step. That's fine. You just repeat what we did on the third round. (20 seconds). Our Beast hold, we're going to go in place. So we're going to go right arm, left arm, because we have to introduce you guys to crawling. 10 seconds, which would seem easy, but you'll be surprised. 5 seconds. Go into her plank rotations. 3, 2, 1. Hiya! 30 second plank rotations. She's going a little bit faster, which is fine. If you guys are going to go fast, make sure that you hold that side plank position a couple seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. Show control. Okay, don't just like flop side to side because you won't feel in your core. Show control. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Then we're going to switch into our squat thrust, our full squat thrust. Right into it. Yep, but no jump at the top. And no push-up in the middle. That's it, just like that. I want you to come all the way up. Land nice and soft. Not holding your breath. 10 seconds. After this squat thrust, we're going to go back into our Superman. Our nice, easy, basic Superman. All right, back into that Superman. Remember, you should be feeling this mostly in your glutes. You can do that. That's cool. You can move your arms around. 15 seconds. After our Superman, we're going to go into our beast hold, but we're going to add a step. 2, 1. Okay, we go into our beast hold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my right hand and my left foot together, and then I go back, and then my left hand and my right foot together, and then I go back. Okay? So just like Jamie's doing, crawl in place, left hand moves with right foot, and vice versa, just like we walk. Right leg goes forward, left hand comes forward. Left leg goes forward, right hand comes forward. We don't walk like this, right? 30 seconds, she's going to go into her hand walkout. Yeah, that was it, 30 seconds. You're good. No, 30 seconds was up. Switch. She goes into her hand walkout. This time what we're going to do is when she comes up, she's going to just add a little tiny bit of a hop. So as she walks her hands back to her feet, she's just going to put a little bit of a hop in, just a little tiny hop. When she does her hop, I want her chest and head to come up. So I want it to be straight up. Yes. Rest. One more round. That should have been your hardest round so far. The next round should be the hardest round. 15 seconds. Full body core. Feeling okay? 2.5 minutes of work, and you're done. $55 seconds. At the end of this round, if you want to make it harder, you're going to scroll back to about the 10-minute mark of this video, and you're going to start a 6th round, but you're going to do it with the same intensity as your 5th round at. And then you ask yourself at the end of that round, do I need to make it harder? Cool, then do another round. 20 seconds. You should always leave a workout feeling better than when you started the workout. If you leave the workout feeling worse, you worked out too hard. 8, 7, 6, last round. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last round. Plank rotations. Doing these for 30 seconds. We're going to go into our full burpee. So all that means is that you're going to do the exact same thing that you did in the 4th round, except instead of just standing, you're going to go from your legs back to your legs underneath of you with a jump, and I want you reaching for the sky when you do that jump. Because I want you to come all the way up. All right, go ahead, full squat thrust or burpee. If you want to put a push-up in the bottom, you can. Yes, just like that. Hands reach the sky. The reason why I want you to go hands to the sky, there's a bunch of different reasons, but the main reason is because it gets you all the way into extension. So sometimes when people do squat thrusts or burpees, they end up doing them kind of like this, where they'll like hop like that, right? And they never actually get into full extension. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back down to Superman. This is actually, it's funny, the hard part with this exercise on the 5th round, because I can hear Jamie breathing now, is not so much holding this position. It's holding this position, not being able to breathe through your belly, and it forces you to try and figure out how to breathe through your back, which you should be doing anyway. Breathing is a 3-dimensional activity. 3, 2, 1. She's going to go into her beast crawl, and you guys can actually either turn it into a crawl where you're moving across the floor, or you can just do the in-place crawl like we did before. But just remember, right hand and left foot move together. Left hand and right foot move together. And knees are as close to the ground as you can get them. Jamie's doing a great job. 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4. She's going to finish with her hand walk out. Yeah, she's going to go right into her hand walk out. If you guys are going to make this a little harder, you can put that jump in at the end. She's going a little faster. She's putting that jump in. Just make sure if you put the jump in, that you jump and you come all the way up. Bonus, if you can take those hands above your head. We want to make sure that you get into that full extension so that you, 10 seconds, so that you do a full rep. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. She's going to get one more. You okay? All right. Beautiful job. Like I said, if you're still like, you know what, I kind of have a little bit more energy, I need to do a little bit more, all you're going to do is just take it right back to about the 10-minute mark. The ramp, roughly 10 minutes, might be around 11 or 12, but the ramp generally lasts about 8 minutes, and then we do a 2-minute break, so that's where the 10-minute comes up. So take it back to the beginning of the workout, to our first round, and then you're going to do everything you did in the on the last round that we just did, but you're going to start the entire thing over, and you're going to do that on the first round. Some of you super studs, you might actually go through a whole nother 5 rounds before you're like, okay, that was a good workout, right? That's not necessarily what we would recommend, but if that's what you feel like you need today, by all means, you go ahead and do it. You do you. All right, gang, thank you so much for checking out this workout, and we'll see you later.